Mr. Lefelt came in here today saying that this is game day. You're right, Mr. Lefelt. This is game day.
I have a point of order. The document that you have up behind you is a misrepresentation of the actual post. It appears that you're trying to misrepresent a witness here who you use subpoena powers against.
This is not Miss Stansbury. Miss Stansbury, this is not a point of order.
The actual picture.
Miss Stansbury, you're not recognized. Miss Stansbury, you're not recognized.
She is bit mad. What up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Nard News. I hope you had a great week. It's Friday, so that means another video. I had a decent week. I had an extra day off, but we're gonna give you the video today. It's not gonna be the most entertaining video that I normally would have with videos and everything, because there's two things I want to go over today, and that's what everyone's talking about: no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. There's two different bills that everyone keeps circling around. So today, I'm going to show you both. And I'm going to show you both. I'm going to go over them, and you will see and make your decision on your own. Is there no tax on tips? Is there no tax on overtime? Are they keeping their word? Is the Republican doing anything? The Republican Party, the administration, because guess what? They run the House, they run the Senate, and not one bill has passed yet. I hope y'all realize that. They run everything. They can pass anything and everything they want to right now. And the only thing that's happening is executive orders. But let's get right into it. So first we got Bill H.R. 561, 119th Congress. This is called the Overtime Pay Tax Act of 2025. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and the wife said I need to relax, so she made me one. So we're gonna go over this. I haven't even looked over this yet, so we're gonna go over this together. It's gonna be a little edited video, but it is what it is. Let's see. All right, so this is the bill. All right, H.R. 561 into the House of Representatives. By the way, this has already been passed. Well, it's passed at the House, not at the Senate. All right, I want to make sure that's clear. All right, this was introduced by Mr. Bacon. Introduced the following bill, which was referred to the Committee of Ways and Means. All right, let's just get to the meat of it. Section 2, deduction for overtime compensation. Section 224, overtime compensation. In general, there shall be allowed a deduction in amount equal of any overtime compensation received by an individual, as does not exceed 20% of such individuals of other weight. Section 224, overtime compensation. In general, there shall be allowed a deduction in the amount equal to so much of any overtime compensation received by an individual as does not exceed 20% of such individual of the wages from the same employer for the taxable year. That does not mean you're not paying tax on overtime. Let's get that right out of the way. That means if you do qualify for this, it's only up to 20%. So they're not gonna make you pay taxes on overtime up to 20%, but you got to qualify. And how do I know you have to qualify? Because I have this little thing in my head to always I'm reading, but I can see what's below it. Because if you see below, you see limitations, right? No deduction shall be allowed under subsection for any taxpayer whose adjusted gross income for the taxable year exceeds. In the case of married couple filing jointly, $200,000. So if you're married, legally married, and you guys make under $200,000, you will get a tax deduction. So you're still getting taxes out of every check. So these big paychecks y'all think y'all gonna get, it's not gonna happen. That's if this even passed through the state, right? Through the Senate. Okay, you won't even if you make under $200,000, only up to 20% of that can be no tax. And not even tax. It can be deducted from your taxes. That's not the same. It's not the same. Let's be real. If you're not receiving that money every check, it's not the same. All right, people need their money now. In the case of head of household, $150,000, or in the case of other individuals, $100,000. Now, let me tell you this: I'm a fuel hauler. I work with a lot of fuel haulers. A lot of them are not married, right? And I can tell you this: fuel haulers with experience, they're meeting that $100,000, that over $100,000 a year. Especially if you got 4 or 5 years in, you get paid hourly. Most of your money is made by overtime. So once you hit that over 100,000 mark and you're a single man, you're not married, you no longer qualify for the tax deduction. You still paying tax, it's just a tax deduction, all right? So you're still getting tax out of every check. So that doesn't look like no tax on overtime for me. If you're the head of household, $150,000. So if you're making more than $150,000, you don't qualify if you're the head of household. Right? So if you got dependents, you got a lady you take care of, you put them out as your dependent, you're the head of household. Right? If you make more than $150,000, you do not qualify. And once again, I'm gonna say this for the fourth time. If you do qualify, you still get taxes taken out of your check. You will not see it. This is a deduction from your tax, from your income tax. Termination. No deduction shall be allowed under subsection for any amounts received after December 31st, 2029. Yeah, this is a small bill. That's it. That's it. We don't care about this bottom stuff, all right? Most of y'all don't even qualify for all these deductions. Most of y'all don't own businesses. Most of y'all are everyday workers, okay? When we talk about deductions, this is about business owners, small business owners. You don't qualify for it. So let's just knock that bill right off the way, all right? And we can go straight into the other bill, which is S-1046. But just in case you're losing some attention span, let's just watch it, watch something entertaining for a second.
I didn't hear what you said. Did you say something to me?
Are you guys illegal immigrants?
Do I look illegal?
Excuse me?
Why does
What
that
makes you
matter?
think I'm
It
illegal?
does matter. You don't belong here. Let me see your ID. Let me just
Well, I
say,
don't need, who are
stay
you
in our
to ask
country.
me
You
for
have to
my
come legal. You understand? We're not keeping
So do you
illegal
stop every
people.
brown people
You have to
person and ask
give
them
you
if they're legal?
$1,000 and they'll send you back wherever you came from.
Oh yeah?
Are you legal?
Where are you from?
From the United States.
From the United
I fought
States?
in Vietnam, okay?
You kill the Indians to come here and
I have
live
a
here,
military
right?
family, okay? We
Oh,
fought in wars,
okay.
okay? None of this bullshit illegally coming across.
So because I'm brown, you think I'm illegal?
You're illegal, okay?
Yeah, I don't know about that. There's no racism in the U.S. What are we talking about? Anyway, at this start, you need that attention grabber. All right, back to the video, all right? S-1046, all right? That's a whole nother video. Now that's going to be in my head all day. But let's get to 1046. No tax on overtime act of 2025. Okay, let's just look straight at it. Let's get right into it. In the Senate of the United States, Mr. Hawley introduced the following bill, which was read twice and referred to the Committee of Finance, all right? Again, this is another bill that was voted into the House, voted in. It's going to the next step, all right? It's into the next phase. But let's just look at it, all right? Short bill, another short bill. It's just something about this administration. They're not very detailed. Even with the executive orders, it's very vague. It's very up to determination. And it's done on purpose. Don't let's not get this fooled. All right? They do this on purpose so they can say, this is what I meant when you go to court. Or, nope, I didn't mean that. No. So they leave it vague so it can be played on a base by base and a scenario by scenario case. All right? That's why they do what they do. But let's get into it. All right? I don't want to keep going on a tangent. I can't. This stuff really works me up for some reason. All right? Gross income shall not include overtime compensation required under Section 7 of the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938. This is to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to include the overtime compensation from gross income for purposes of income tax. So what this sounds like to me is S-1046 goes along with H.R. 561 because you can't say you cannot tax overtime without getting rid of another bill. That's all this is. That's all this is. That's why it's only 2 pages. It's getting rid of one amendment that causes taxes on everything, and then the H.R. 561 is the new bill that's supposed to give you this tax deduction on overtime. Nothing's been said about tips, by the way. So I don't know what they're saying. This is nothing about the everyday worker. So I just wasted my time on this. But it's good because people need to know. People need to know the truth and actually look at actual amendments, actual bills, actual rulings, where it's at in the process. If it's a state level, if it's a federal level, you have to know this. And just know, by my opinion, what I just read with these 2 little vague small bills, that does not equal no tax on tips or overtimes. It's not happening. At least not right now. Will it happen in the future? I'm not excited. I will bet my house on it that it probably won't. Not no time in the next 2-3 years. Because he thinks terrorists is going to pay. He thinks terrorists is going to pay for no taxes for the lower middle class and below. But yet you're in a tariff war going up and down trying to make trade deals. If you thought terrorists was going to be able to take away taxes, you would just keep tariffs on and say, we're not dealing with y'all. We're just going to put tariffs on y'all so my people don't have to pay taxes. Y'all don't think that way. But it is what it is. All right. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you read this a different way once you saw these bills? Do you feel differently? I know MAGA gonna come. Y'all gotta think about coming in my comments. Always call someone a liberal, a leftist, and guess what? You can call me what you want. It doesn't. The facts don't change based off what you call me. So I know y'all gonna come in the comments, but these are the facts. Don't ask for context because you just saw the context. The context, all right? You just saw it. So don't ask for it. You can read it yourself, and then you let me know. Is this truly happening? Because me, I call BS. I'll see y'all next video.